Hello, designers. This is Rebecca, and this is your assignment for Plan the Tour Critique. Let's go ahead and check out the requirements first. So, you were to create designs for an event poster, a quarter bill sheet or handbill, a concert ticket, and a VIP pass. So, I wanted you to present everything in two compiled PDF files that include printer-ready PDFs with bleeds and crop marks, PDFs without bleeds, and mockups. You were to create your graphic headings and any vector graphics in Illustrator. You could edit and manipulate any used photos in Photoshop, and you were to create your mockups in Photoshop or Illustrator, and then use Illustrator or InDesign for any of your final designs. You get to choose which one you'd like. So for the specs, this includes designs for 24 by 36-inch concert poster, include a design for a concert handbill that's both as a 4-up and cut into 1/4 examples, include a design for a concert ticket using fonts specific to the era. So I didn't want you to use any fonts that were created after your time, after your genre. Include a design for a VIP pass, include a mock-up for each medium, include the band name, venue, city, and date, include mock-ups for each. Looks like yeah, I said that twice. Include a 2-page PDF of your poster with crops and bleeds, and then a poster that's trimmed. Um, so it's going to be a large PDF because it's a 24 by 36-inch file. And then include the rest of the files compiled into a second multi-page PDF. And you could use the template. And then, yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and get started. So no one did this assignment completely 100% correctly, but I'm going to start with the students that got really darn close. So first we're going to start with Ardian. This is Ardian's 2 PDF submission here of the 2 posters. So this is the poster with crops and bleeds, and this is the trimmed version here. So on the cropped and bleed part, this is all just very technical things that are, not quite right, meaning that your bleeds do not extend past the crop marks there. Maybe they do a bit on the top, but not on the 2 sides. It also looks like it extends on the bottom a little bit. So just make sure that you extend that background image all the way to your bleeds when you're designing the poster, and then when you export it, make sure you check use document bleeds as you before you hit the export button. As far as the design goes, let's look at the trimmed version. It is really awesome. I love the overlapping of the hat over the band logo at the top. I think that's really beautiful layering. It's almost like a magazine cover. Um, the all the typography looks beautiful. I think that centering the alignment looks really nice and clean. It's all very symmetrical and it looks really great. That's when centering works, is when things in the document are symmetrical. So it's fantastic. It's a great image that you found. It matches your album covers really nicely, but without it being completely the same. And so I think it's just really nice work there. Really great photoshopping with that hat. It's beautiful. Really nice. Really good. I'm just looking at everything else. I like the fine print with the copyright info at the bottom. These little dashed rules are a really nice touch there. And yep, we got all the info on there, so we're good to go. All the who, what, where. So great work there. Let's take a look at your presentation. Great. So here is your quarter bill. I'm just going to zoom in here. Come on. Just so you guys know, as we go through this presentation, my computer might act a little slow, and that's because I have these really humongous PDFs open. So just bear with me on that. All right, so this is the quarter bill with the trims and crop marks, and it's laid out really well. This is the front, and this is the back. So this is all correct and looks really good, technically correct. So this is the trimmed, not really the trimmed version. The trimmed version would just be one of these, front and back, but that's okay. It's good to see that. Then we have our ticket, and I'm going to try to zoom in here. There we go. Good. So we have our trims and registration marks. So once again, if we have these black boxes in the background, we're going to extend those black boxes past the trim lines to the bleed marks, okay? Same with this one here, at least on the sides there, okay? As far as the information goes, it does look like a real ticket. It's laid out really nicely. Um, the fonts are all good. Has all the information that we need. Yeah, it looks like a for real ticket. If you wanted to, you could play with adding a little color, but by no means is it mandatory. Um, you just have a lot of great color in your branding, so feel free to have a little fun with it. But if you wanted to, challenge yourself to just use one color, then that's working, okay? Now we have our VIP pass. Really cool design. I love it. Really neat. Yeah, great. I love the date on there. I think that really makes it special. Um, so one more time, we just need to extend these background graphics to the bleeds and then export it using the document bleed measurements there, okay? But this is the trimmed version, looks really nice. So here's your mock-ups. Let me zoom out. Great looking mock-up, fantastic. Another great mock-up, really nice. I like the fold lines in that, that's cool. Really good. So we would need a mock-up of the ticket. If you can find one, that would be great. And a mock-up of the quarter bill, okay? Just the single cut out quarter, one of the quarter bills, not the 4x4, all right? Thank you so much. Another example that's really close to being correct is All-U-Mides. So here's All-U-Mides large poster with the trims and bleeds. And yes, these crop marks are correct, and the bleeds do extend past there. We see your registration marks and your file info, all that good stuff, color bars. Very nice. So this is really great. This is the trimmed version. So as far as the design goes, it's so cute. I could definitely see this on a wall of a college student's dorm room as a collector's item. It looks really good. The font looks, all the typography looks great. It looks like we do have all the information. Maybe adding the date, I'm sorry, um, running back the day and then having the year below that could be fun because, then it makes it even more of a collector's item, but it's not mandatory. The only thing that's a little bit confusing, express on the soar the stars is how I read this. So I feel like maybe that could be just express on the stars, and then if you wanted to say soar the stars as a separate line, that might be more easy to understand. Just so you know, that's how I'm reading it, and that's probably how others will read it as well. Okay, great. Let's take a look at your other PDF. Okay, so here's the section with all the mock-ups. So good looking mock-up, that looks great. With mock-ups like this, they tend to have a lot of negative space. And so when you are, which can look modern and cool, but when you're placing it on your website, which you'll do next semester when you create your final portfolio, I do recommend trimming some of this extra space, cropping in to the work itself a little bit more and getting rid of some of the negative space of the mock-up, just so that the on your website we can see the content that really matters nice and large and see more of the details, okay? Here's your VIP pass. It looks fantastic. I love it that it's two-sided. Oh, there's a little barcode. That's a good idea. Great. I love it. Really nice. Good looking mock-up. Once again, feel free to, crop off the bottom of this. I'm not sure. Maybe it is cropped off and it's just reading like that on this slide. So the quarter sheet is close. It's not the right dimensions. A quarter sheet is not going to be a square. It's going to be a rectangular shape. So just double check the dimensions on that. And it does look like we have a bit of, let me just look back at the poster. Sorry, one more time. Okay, never mind. I was going to say it looks like we have a bit of distortion, but we don't. So just if you could double check the dimensions, this needs to be like a letter sized document. Okay, great. And then, but thank you for giving me the trimmed version and the version with the crops and registration marks and stuff. So here's your ticket. It's looking really good, really pretty. I love the layout. I love the your branding coming through. The colors are fantastic. We used a new font here. Okay, it's cute. It's cute. I think that you could incorporate this Express on the Stars font a little bit, maybe in these numbers or something, or in some of your headers. But it's not mandatory. Like the tickets are usually a little different than everything else, so I'm okay with that. Um, I'm also wondering if your logo could be a bit bigger, if maybe, yeah. I think the logo being bigger would be nice. But never mind, you have the name here. Okay, forget it. We're good. I don't see the ticket with the crop marks and the bleeds though, but on this slide. Once again, we have a mock-up with a lot of negative space, so feel free to just crop that mock-up to show the ticket as large as possible when you make your final portfolio. All right? But really good. I see all the information that we need on everything, and the branding is coming through. It looks really nice, really clean organization. Good job. Next up is Giselle. Giselle came really close to also doing this almost 100% perfectly. So this is the poster with the crops and bleeds. It looks fantastic. Everything is extended out to the bleed lines. And then this one is the trimmed version. So I'm getting really picky on all these little things with exporting the files correctly and stuff, just because I want you to learn this process now so that when you have a professional job, you don't make these mistakes there. You know, I want you to look like you know what you're doing when you go out there and, have your paid jobs. So you make those mistakes now with me, and um, you learn now so that you don't do them later. All right, so yeah, the layout of this is really nice. I think I like that black border in there and how this planet is breaking that window. I think that looks great. I love the transposed text in the planet. It looks awesome. You did a nice job with, these two colors. I think it's a really great challenge and it's so fun. So it looks really great. And we have all the info we need. Looks good, looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and it's nicely laid out. The balance is really nice. The composition's good. So nice work there. Let's check out your other PDF. All right, let me just zoom out here. Okay, cool. All right, so here's the concert poster and your mock-up looks really good. I was mentioning previously that when you create your final portfolio for, you know, for UNLV for the program, some of these mock-ups have a lot of negatives or extra space that don't really pertain specifically to the design. The design needs to be the showcase in your mock-up. So if you wanted to crop in to this, then that would be okay. We don't necessarily need all this extra information in the photo. We want the design to be seen as large as possible so we can see all the details of your work, okay? The next up is the handbill. So this is the trimmed handbill and both sides of it. Really good. I think that, I mean, we already have a border in here, and I understand what you were doing as far as like using the poster layout and dimensions, but just shrinking the scale down. And then you had some extra space to fill. And I just don't know if that's necessarily necessary. You know what I mean? I think that, uh, this is a lot of heavy border. We've got one, two, three, four, five borders around this design. So it's a little excessive. Um, I think that laying out the front of the handbill in all pink and just nudging things around to fill in the new dimensions would be would be a better use of space, okay? This is really beautiful back here, though. I love all this negative black space, and I think it's great. Yeah. I mean, it is a little redundant to have out now twice, but that's okay. I'm just thinking if there's another word you could use instead. You know, you could add a barcode. I'm sorry, not a barcode. You could add a QR code for like streaming, or maybe have their website or something like where they could download it, those kind of things in place of one of the out nows, right? Okay, so here's the 4-up version trimmed. So I don't see the 4-up version yet, at least in the order of this slideshow, that has the registration and crop marks, but we'll keep going. Here is your ticket. So this looks good. It's laid out really nicely. Looks like a legit ticket for sure. It really, mimics a real ticket. So really nice work there. And I really like this row of stars. I think that's really cute. And yeah, all the text looks good. Really nice work. And here is the backstage pass, real simple. Looks legit, nice and clean. And here is your mock-up for your backstage pass. Okay, let me zoom out on this. There we go. Now we have the trimmed version of the 4-up, so that's great. And then this, I'm sorry, I didn't say that right. The version with the trim marks and registration bars of the 4-up, and then here is the trimmed version. So we just need a few more mock-ups. We need a mock-up for the ticket, and we need a mock-up of the trimmed handbill. This one here, okay? You can just show one side of the handbill. That's totally fine. Great. Okay. Thanks so much, Giselle. Next up is Katie. So here's Katie's poster with the crop marks and registration and bleeds and stuff. So Katie, it's not looking like the background image is being extended to the bleeds, or at least it just wasn't exported with the bleeds. Let me zoom in a bit. Let me see if I can see those lines a little better here. Okay, I can see the bleed area, but this tan isn't extended to it. There's like a gray, maybe overlay or another gray rectangle back there that is being extended. So if you want this tan to go all the way to the edges, you've got to extend it to the bleeds, okay? Great, all right. And then here's the trimmed, here's the trimmed version. I don't want to give anything away. There we go. All right, so the trimmed version is showing some sort of a white border, but it's not actually on the trim lines. Do you see that there? This version is still showing the bleeds. So if you want a white border around the tan area, then that white border needs to come inside of the trim lines. So I'm not sure which way you wanted to go there, but let's look at the design itself. Is awesome. I absolutely love it. It's a really cool picture. I love this effect of kind of like the Xerox copy effect, and the two-tone is beautiful. I love this 3-color process, is just really neat. The color palette is fantastic. This concept is cool with like the record as the head and kind of this halo behind it. Really cool. This distorted or warped text looks really neat. It adds a lot of dimension and really pulls your eye back towards the figure there. Composition's beautiful. I love the drop shadow and everything. I see some sort of Victorian design a bit in here, and I like that. Just how they treated each row of text a little differently. I think it's really cool. Yeah, great. And we have all the information we need on there. That's cool design. Really nice. And here's your mock-up. Looks great. Good looking mock-up. I've been mentioning to people, when you create your final portfolio, you may want to crop this mock-up just a bit because there's a lot of extra information in this photo, and you're trying to showcase your work as opposed to somebody else's, big photo mock-up. So on your web portfolio, you'll want these photos, I'm sorry, the poster to be as large as possible in your mock-up, okay? Great. Let's go ahead and look at the next part. All right, so here's your other PDF. So I think this might be the trimmed version of the handbill. And then let me zoom out a bit here. There we go. Okay. This is the version of the handbill with the, at least page, the front page of the 4 up with the bleeds and crop marks. So that's good. Correctly done. Good, good. And here's the back side of it. Looks good. I mean, the back side isn't as fun as the front side, I do have to say. We have a lot of repeating information. Let me just, mm, mm, mm. Okay, so I think that, you could still use your logo here, just so that you have some brand recognition. I like this doors open at 6. You have a lot of extra space here, so maybe you could mention another opening band or order tickets at this website, maybe a QR code, that kind of thing. I guess they wouldn't have a QR code back then, but you know what I'm saying. All right, good. Sorry, it just jumped on me. Let me click on this ticket and I will zoom in here if it'll let me. Come on, be cool. Acrobat, zoom, zoom, zooming in. Okay, okay. So here's your ticket. Great, it looks good. It looks like a real ticket. I'm just gonna try to zoom in a little bit more. Nope, it won't let me zoom in. Oh God, pinwheel of death. Okay, here we go. All right, so that's much better. Okay. So we have lots of different fonts on here, at least different font styles. It is looking a bit, there's some stuff here. Okay, so this is very tiny text. Um, I think that is too tiny. And then, because look, I mean, it's tiny and I'm zoomed way in, right? So I wouldn't go any smaller than a size 6 font on any of this. Um, we do have a lot of repeating information. So I don't know. I just feel like it would, and I do think that some of this text is distorted, like kind of squished, but I could be wrong. It just seems like it. So first of all, if there is squished font, unsquish it. And then I'm just thinking as I'm looking here. You could eliminate some redundant text if you need more space, anything that's repeating, and then adjust your font sizes so that they're legible and at least a size 6. I mean, I guess it's all technically legible at this point, but I think the main problem is this guy being just too small there. So you'll have to break that into 2 lines if you increase your font size, and if you need more room, then you can eliminate some redundant text there. This is also feeling sort of misaligned compared to this over here. So maybe, just center these up a little bit more so you don't have like this big gap. Same with on this side, this gap is smaller than this gap. If you were looking at an example ticket that did have those things like not perfectly aligned, then go ahead and leave it as is. If you were like completely mimicking that, then that's totally fine. I just wanted to bring it to your attention in case it was not, um, um, if it wasn't intentional. And then I have to say, this first, March 1st, 1971, this is not reading as a number 1. It's reading as just like a shape, like a rectangle. I think maybe because of the scale of it. So I would recommend maybe finding a different font for this first or maybe for the whole date here, that's like this font, something that gives it a bit of a serif or isn't just a rectangle for the one, if that makes sense. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next part. Great, so this is our VIP pass. Zoom in. Okay, cute. This looks very legit, that handwritten part there, really great. And then here is our mock-up. Um, Great, looks good. So we need a mock-up then for this handbill, and we need a mock-up for the ticket. Okay, thanks. Next up is Kayla. All right, so this is Kayla's trimmed poster, and we'll return to that in just a second. This is your poster with the bleeds and crop marks. Perfect. Good job there. I see your bleeds extending past the trim lines, and we have all of our registrations and color bars and file info. It looks really good. So let's look at the trimmed version, just at the design itself, and I think it's fantastic. Um, it's, going along with all of your other branding really nicely. I like the white background behind the logo to really pull our eye up there, because it's the most contrasty part of the image. And then I think my eye goes to the image of the band next. These red drop shadows are a really nice addition, and we have all the info we need on there. I see a bit of Victorian poster layout design here. If it was unconscious, I see it happening and I like it. Like stacking all of this text and extending all of the text out, so that it's kind of centered, like they're all falling in the same block. I should say not centered, but more kind of justified um, in the alignment. Looks really good. And then this is fun. This West Coast tour on the tape goes along with some of your other branding. It's just really, really nicely done. We got this scratchy texture. Looks awesome. Super punk rock. Let's go ahead and look at your presentation. All right, and so here's the other PDF. There we go. Here's your concert mock-up. I'm sorry, your poster mock-up looks really good. Perfect. Here's the quarter hand build, just the trimmed one front and back version. Excellent. This is fun. I like all this ransom text brought in as your headers. Really good. Really good. Here it is with the trim lines and looks fantastic. Printer ready. Yes, good, good. Yay! We have a handbill mock-up. It's looking great. Here's your concert ticket. I love that you incorporated the scratchy background. Uh, Looks really good. The perforated line is really nice. We got the logo in there. Looks cool. Really nice. Awesome. Super legit. Yay, we got a ticket mock-up. Here's the VIP pass. Excellent. And the VIP pass mock-up. Okay, I take it back, Kayla. You did this assignment 100% perfect. Yay, Kayla! Thank you so much. Good work. Beautiful. I love it. I love all the design. It's just like seamlessly, branded through the whole thing. It looks fantastic. Really great job. Great job, Kayla. Way to go. Next up, we have Gwyneth. This is Gwyneth's posters with the trims. So it's not quite exported correctly. I don't see any of the registration marks or the printer bars, and your bleeds are not extending past the trim lines. So if you could please watch that video again, that would be great. So this one has the 1996 tour made, and we have our cities and our dates. I don't see that the actual venue list or venue names, or like how much you know, I think that I don't remember if how much was a requirement, but I guess that's not. Okay. Um, Great. And then I don't see the trimmed version of the poster, but let me look at the next PDF that you submitted. All right. So here is the, sorry. Okay, here's probably the design for the handbill I'm thinking, because it looks like it's two-sided. Okay, so we have February 2nd in Las Vegas. We need the name of the venue. And then over here, it looks like you've included like a set list, which is kind of cool. Oh, okay, here's the venue. Great. Okay, cool. Maybe a time would be good. But I'm glad that you have 21 and up. And I love all this collaging. Really nice. It's a really fun collage for sure. I would keep this if it was on my windshield of my car when I came out of a nightclub or something. Good job. So here's your ticket. That's fun. I like that. So it's very minimal, but I think, I think that's okay. If we wanted this barcode to look a little bit more authentic, usually barcodes have some numbers and stuff as well, but I guess I'm wondering if not always. Let me think about that. I guess not in this case. They might not have it. Okay. But I do think you should include a price on here. And let me just go back for a minute. February 2nd. And then I think, I don't know what these numbers are here. If that's the seat, I think they should have a seat number or a general admission. Oh, I'm sorry, it says right here, gate, section, and row. Okay, cool, gotcha. So we need the date on there and the price of the ticket would be great. And I think this is the backstage pass. Yes, it is. Okay, great. Good. So good. I think these are all really good starts to these things. We need to see the four up front and back versions of this handbill, as well as a mock-up for it, and the versions with the crops and trim lines. We need to see a version of the ticket with the crops and trim lines once you add the information that's missing, as well as a mock-up for the ticket. And we need to see a mock-up for this backstage pass. Backstage passes are generally, minimal, but you have such great collaging here that I think it would be fun if you added it to this just as another opportunity to show your Photoshop chops, okay? Thanks so much, Gwyneth. Next up is Larky. So this is the version of your poster with the trops, with the crops and um, bleeds. Uh, I don't see the registration marks. I don't see the color bars or the file info. So just double check if you exported it correctly. This is fun. It's just an all text poster. Great. See, I'm live in Pahrump. Is there? Yeah, I think this is fun. Okay, really fun. I can see you had a lot of fun with typography. I love this like warped effect down here. It looks really great. Excellent. And then this is your handbill. You tried a black and white version, which is good. Oh, this is fun. Good, good. Okay. I'd like to see a front and back version. So um, I would call the black and white version the back of the handbill, and then the front, give yourself a color option. And I'm just thinking about like some of your album cover design, if you could maybe incorporate some of the visuals from that in there. I think that'd be really cool. Oh, wait, hold on. What's this? Okay, this is the VIP pass. Oh, cool. Okay, sorry. Now let me zoom in on this ticket. So this is a pretty, I'd say, unorthodox version of a ticket. I like the perforated part that you rip off there. That's the stub. And so I think you could include, I think you could include some more kind of band branding to this, like their logo, their actual logo, or maybe the flower. Um, you could just have a little bit more fun. It's pretty plain, and I know the tickets, back then were fairly plain. So I think if you could maybe mix some of that old style with a bit of your design that you've worked hard on creating for this, like branding that you've worked hard on. And then also include the price of the ticket that could be included here on this in this box here. Um, and then just, I think you could do better formatting than just centering this text. At this point, I think you have some really good experience on how to tackle some more interesting formatting, okay? For that center box there. And then this is your, see, this is an example of all the fun branding that you did, right? So I think this is really fun for this backstage pass. I think you can get rid of the time here and just give this VIP pass a little more space to breathe, by just removing that one line of text. And then for this is cool. I like this list here. Great, that's fun. All right, cool. Excellent. So it looks like we need some mock-ups for all of these things, for the poster, for the handbill, the ticket, and the backstage pass. And we need that front side of the handbill. Okay, thank you, Larky. Nope, never mind. There's another document. So let me zoom out here. And when we look at that, okay. So here's the poster trimmed. Ah, here we go. Okay, great. Good looking mock-up. Excellent. Here's the handbill trimmed. Okay. So it was printed on some cream paper. That looks good. If you could maybe find a different mock-up that shows shows a hand with it, or maybe shows something to show this at more scale. You know what I mean? If you have it in a hand, then you'll see that it's only like what, 3 by 2 inches or whatever it ends up being. So that would be helpful just to show that you know how to lay out a quarter bill. There's our ticket. That's good. That works for the mock-up there. Oh, that looks great. This looks great. Okay, great. Good job. Thank you so much for including all of this. Next up is Raylin. Raylin, I didn't receive a PDF of just the two posters together, just a heads up there. So here's the poster in this presentation. It's so cool. Really neat imagery. And here's your mock-up. Let me go back to this design. So this is a really fun text warp here. Okay, so the dates down here, we want to separate these dates with an en dash instead of just a regular hyphen. So to create an en dash, you just hold down the Alt or Option key on your keyboard and then hit that hyphen or dash or minus button on your keyboard, and that'll create a little wider dash. That's how we separate ranges when we're formatting. It's like the correct punctuation for that. And then, I mean, this yellow is like, it's just so blaring against that background, but it does help with legibility and with um, with contrast. But I just feel like it doesn't meld well with that color palette. Hmm. Let's keep going. Okay. I mean, it is very punchy for sure. It stands out really nicely. So, all right. This is your handbill. Okay. Good. So with this mock-up, is there a back side to this handbill? No, there's not. Okay. So if you could please the export, I'm sorry, the 4-up with the trims and crop marks. This isn't the correct version of that. I need it with the, sorry, I keep jumping around. Okay. With the bleeds, the crop marks on the outside there, and the registration bars and the registration marks and the color bars and the file info, all that stuff. So just double check on how to export those the right way. And then most of these are two-sided, so if you had a back side, that would be cool. For your mock-up, if you could show, this mock-up looks to be a bit distorted. So here it's more rectangular, and this one it's a bit squished, and I can tell it's squished by the imagery there. So I would recommend getting a different mock-up. If you can find a mock-up that has a hand actually holding a correctly sized handbill, that would be even better to show the actual scale of it. And then here's your concert ticket. This is cool. I don't recommend ever distorting your image, okay? Especially if it's repeating in places. So just crop it at the correct dimensions. Don't squish it to fit new dimensions. Like, you see how it's distorted and they're elongated? It's just not super professional. I recommend just recropping it, okay? And then the other side of the ticket, though, the black and white side looks fantastic. I love the all of the typography. It looks super cool. I'm happy to see the actual logo in there. That looks awesome. The font that you chose looks great with it. All these rules everywhere look fantastic. Very legitimate. I love all of the info on there. Dang, $319. Whoo, that's expensive. But yeah, that's what tickets are nowadays. Blah. This looks cool with the cutouts on there. That's a nice mock-up. All right. Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump back there. The only thing I'm seeing with this mock-up is where this perforation is lying, and this date being cut out here. So I would adjust that so that it falls either below the cut line or above it, and then move this also. Okay, great. Um, Here's the VIP pass. Great. I don't think this needs to be on here twice. It's a bit redundant, but it's up to you. This is a good looking mock-up. Once again, we're cropping into this, so I would adjust that there so that it's not getting shaved off. There's a margin around it, okay? But this is nice. I like this. That's cool. Great. Thank you. Next up is Yardley. So this is Yardley's trimmed poster. We'll return to that in just a moment. This is the correctly exported version with the crops and the bleeds. It looks really good. Excellent. All right, let's look at the trimmed version here. I love the layout. Once again, this duotone is just effect on the photos is so great. I like all this collaging too. It looks really pretty. And it's fun with these signatures on there. That's great. We have all the info we need? No, we don't. So we need a location, a venue. And yeah, that would be helpful. Maybe a venue in a city in this area, since you already have needle eyes up here. Okay. Uh, yeah, great. And then these are your mock-ups. Can I zoom in on them? Let me zoom in, Acrobat. So I wanted the mock-ups in the other PDF just because of this scaling issue as I'm looking at them. I'm not crazy about these mock-ups. They're not the correct dimensions of the poster. Remember, the poster is only 2 feet by 3 feet, so I do recommend finding different mock-ups, okay? Just to have a better representation of the true dimensions. And now this is your handbill exported with the crops and bleeds, the front and back. So if you update your poster to show your venue and location, do that on the handbill as well. This is cool. I like that. I like that list of the whole tour. I think that's very neat. And then the other side could be just specific to the city that you're handing them out in. So I think that's really great. I love that. This is really nice too, having the album on there, the CD. That looks great. Good job. And then this is, let's see here. I don't know what this is. I'm not sure. I think, okay. All right. So you don't need this version by itself with the trims and all that. You just need the front and back of the handbill, and then this is your mock-up for that. Okay, I'll take it. This is better. I like that one better. Good. Here's your ticket. I wouldn't necessarily call this a mock-up because there's nothing else going in there. Okay, this is better. Sorry, that's a great mock-up. Looks good. Yeah, so the ticket looks awesome. Let me zoom in on that. Good job. Good job pulling the background to the bleeds and exporting it with the bleeds. Looks really good. I love this ticket. So I love the logos in there. It looks really fantastic. We have the price of the ticket, all the info we need. The fonts look good. Yeah, it looks super legit. Way to go. And then this is your VIP pass. Oh, wow, you even have a photo in there? Woo! This person must be very important. Really nice. That's pretty cool. That's a keeper. Great. This looks great. Good looking mock-up. Good job, Yardley. Thank you. Next up is Kristen. Kristen, I don't have a PDF of just the two posters, just so you know. So here is the presentation. We have your poster with the mock-up. Okay, so with this poster mock-up, I recommend, cropping a lot of this extra stuff out because your poster, I'd like you to show your poster as large as possible in the mock-up. And we're missing a lot of information on this poster. We really don't need any placeholder text. We need, uh, where it is, maybe how much it cost, the date of the concert, that kind of thing. So be sure to double check the requirements for that poster design. Here's your handbill trimmed. We have some more. Okay, so here you have the date, and we have a URL, which is great. We don't need any placeholder text on here. We don't need a thank you note. So instead, I would recommend, this is good seeing the ascending tour. I'd like to see that on the poster as well. So yeah, I think you could just eliminate this placeholder text here and maybe on the back have a list of cities where the tour will visit. Okay. But we do need a location for one of the shows on the front, like the actual venue name. Okay. And then this handbill cornered is not the correct layout. So just double check that, how to lay those out. We wouldn't have, if you have a white gap between the four, it would also have a white border around the whole edge. So if you wanted them to blend together, they'd need to be touching. You could, so if you could double check that and how to export it correctly with the bleeds and trim lines, that'd be great. Next up is the concert ticket. Good, okay. This works. I don't think you need any placeholder text here. So make all the text in here have a purpose. There's just no need to have any placeholder text. You could make your Angels Trumpets logo larger. We need the location of the venue. And I do see the cost of the ticket on there and the date that works. So yeah, maybe include the city and the venue name. Include the tour name on there and maybe the seat number, or if it's general admission, include that. The only other thing is this barcode is like really harsh, being in black where all the other text is in white. So consider maybe inverting it to white text as well. Okay. I'm sorry. There. Come on. Next page. Oh, that's it. Okay, so we do need some mock-ups as well for the handbill and the ticket, and we are missing the VIP pass. Okay, thanks. Next up is Vanessa. This is Vanessa's poster with the trim lines and crops. So Vanessa, if you take a look at this, notice that your bleeds do extend to past the trim lines on the left side, the right side, and the bottom, but they do not, it does not extend past the trim lines along the top. It's getting cut off right there. So make sure that the top of your poster, the background image is extended out to the bleeds. Let's look at the trimmed version. Come on, let's go. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. So I needed a document that was just the poster, two versions of it. So it would be a 2-page PDF. One is this version that you have here with the bleeds and crops. And then the other one would be this same poster at the same scale, but just trimmed only, okay? So let's look at the design here. Okay, so I love this text here, and the image is really cool. The background collage is really beautiful. All of these beautiful textures and effects are really nice. I think headlights could be even bigger, but I don't know if you want, yeah, maybe, yes, I think headlights could be bigger. And then I think grouping your dates together would be better. If you wanted to, though, you could have, I'm just thinking of the other information that you could include. Maybe at the top, I'm trying to think where it would be better. I think getting rid of this paragraph at the top would be better. And then at the bottom, include a website or someplace that you could order your tickets, that kind of info. Okay, let's see what's next. So here we have, this is the quarter bill, but it's just a single sheet. So that's not quite correct. Let me zoom in on this, and I'm going to see what else you have in your other document that you submitted. Okay, so let's look at the design for the quarter bill. I think that headlights should be on this side. Maybe, yeah, I think it'd be good if the headlights logo was on the front. You could keep it on the back too, though, of course. And then this list of locations is great. And any information you add to the poster, like a place to order the tickets, you should add that to this quarter bill design as well. So this is not a 4-up. I want to see a 4-up, okay? And then here is the ticket. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Great. All right. I think the ticket looks great. I love it. Very nice. I like seeing this here. The date, ticket price, seats, awesome. Looks really good. This perforated little part here, really great. Love it. Love all the texture, love the color added to it. Beautiful design there. And then here is our backstage pass. Cool. Looks good. Really good. All right, so let's see if we have our mock-ups in there. Great. Cool. So here's our poster mock-up. Good looking mock-up. So any changes you make, just make sure you update your mock-up. Here's the handbill. All right, I'll take that. Next, good looking mock-up for the ticket and great looking mock-up for the VIP pass. Good. So the mock-ups are good. We just had a little, the layout for the quarter bill. I needed to see the 4-up version, both trimmed and with the bleeds and crops as the 8.5 by 11 sheet exported that way. Then I needed to see, yeah, and then the trimmed poster. Okay, thank you. All right. Next up is Audrey. Let me zoom on out. So here's Audrey's poster with the bleeds and crops. So because you had a white background, we can't see if it extends beyond there, but it does. I mean, it's correctly done. So good job there. Excellent. Way to go. Exporting that correctly. And then here's the trimmed version. Really nice. So looking at the design, this is really fun. It's kind of like, I would say, mimicking a Victorian poster design because we have all of this text going to the edges. And I love it. I think it's really nicely stacked. It's beautiful. Really great typography. I love this wide tracking here. And we played with scale and style of each of the fonts. I think it's really wonderful. This is nice too with like kind of um, uh, inverting the text here by adding the blue highlight around it. I think it looks really good. And we have all the info we need. Make sure that this is an N dash. I think it might be, but just if it's not, and you don't know how to create an N dash, you just hold down the Alt or Option key and then hit that hyphen or minus button on your keyboard. But I think it is an N dash, so that's good. Great, looks awesome. I love it. I love the single color print too. I think that's a really great challenge and you handled it really well. So here's your mock-up for your poster. It looks really good. When you add this to your professional portfolio, I do recommend cropping in on this image a bit. You don't really need all this extra photo here because we really want to show your poster as large as possible on your website to show all this gorgeous detail, okay? Oh, also, I love the effect that you did to the photo. Really nice. Whoa, sorry. Here's your mock-up for your ticket, and it looks really good. When you add this to your portfolio, once again, feel free to crop in here. We don't need all this extra negative space around it. It's just kind of a waste of space. We want to see the ticket in all of its glory, okay? Let's look at the ticket design a bit more. So we have the version with the crops, really good, and bleeds. I like seeing these bleeds go beyond the crop marks. Really good job. I love this texture in the background and that you used a lot of color. I think it looks beautiful. I love seeing the price on there. I love seeing the logos on there. And the barcode looks really good, looks really legit. Nice work. Fun. So you made a sticker for your VIP pass. This is a um, great mock-up. You could crop into it one more time. You don't have to do it for this class. I'm just saying when you create your final portfolio later on, be sure to do that. I could use a little more margin. So that would require shrinking the scale of all of it inside of the circle. Just a heads up there, you know. You can see that you're very close to your trim mark there, and that is pushing it. It's making me feel very uncomfortable. So I would like to see at least an eighth of an inch margin around that. But that's just me. It's me and my claustrophobia. Just joking. All right, I'm going to zoom out a bit to see what this is. Do do do. I think this looks like a poster mock-up, but you already had a poster mock-up, so it must be the handbill mock-up. Yes, it is. Okay. I do recommend a different mock-up for that. If you could find a hand holding a quarter bill, that would then show the scale a little bit better. But as far as the design goes, it's good to go. I like it. Uh, you can see on this mock-up, it looks a little bit crooked inside there. Do you see that? It's probably the mock-up itself, but you would want, you know, your borders to be even all the way around to show that, you know how to design within those. Oh, no, no, I was wrong. So here's the actual background there, and it just looks like it's not quite centered a bit. See how your border is thicker on these sides than it is on the left side, and it does it on all four of these. So just center those puppies up, okay? So you have a nice even margin all the way around. Good. Looks good. Great job. Okay, and there's the trimmed version. Excellent. Great. Thanks so much, Audrey. Next up is Edel. Edel, I do not have the PDF that has just the two posters, just so you know, okay? So here's your poster. I'm just looking here. Okay. All right. Sorry. So here's the poster. So this is super fun. It's really, really got a lot going on in there, but I like it. It's really, really fun. I love all these photos, all this color. All right. So I would like you to eliminate the black stroke on all of this, on all these shapes. So no black stroke in this circle, no black stroke on this rectangle with the starburst, no black stroke on the star. You can leave the black for your logo here, for the note, for this text, and for this drop shadow, and for Apollo Theater, and these notes and stars. But just get rid of these thin black strokes. You don't need them to separate those from the background, okay? Yeah. If we're using black, I want it to be for something that looks very intentional as opposed to looks like a default stroke, if that makes sense, okay? So yeah, please go ahead and get rid of those on all the shapes. Great. And then I needed to see the poster with the crops and bleeds and registration marks and all that stuff. I'm not sure what this is. If this is your mock-up, I think you can find a better mock-up, okay, that actually looks like a poster on a wall. I think this may be the mock-up for the handbill, but a quarter bill is going to be like this big. It's going to be about 3 inches by 2 inches approximately. So I'll need you to find a different quarter bill mock-up. And then here's the VIP pass. That's very cute. I love it. Really cute. Love it. I'm okay with the stroke here. That's all right with me. Excellent. You know what would be even better though is if you change this black stroke to maybe the dark purple in that background. I just want you to use black strokes very sparingly and super intentionally. All right. It's what separates the pros from people just learning the software that leave the default stroke as is, you know. Um, that's just my thing there. Okay. Good looking mock-up. Feel free to crop into this mock-up. We don't need all this extra space around it, but it looks good on there. Okay. So I need a better handbill image and a better mock-up for your poster. I need to see the handbill actually laid out as a 4-up on the letter size paper. I need you to export that with the bleeds and crops, and I need a mock-up that shows the handbill at the correct dimensions, okay? Thank you. All right, next up is Daryl. Daryl, I don't see the PDF with the 2 posters on it. So here's your poster, which is a really fun layout. I like this grid. It's really cool. And yeah, it looks good. I like the logo on there. This is really fun at an angle. This is pretty cool down here. Real gritty. I like that. I'm just reading it real fast here. Yeah, that's cool. I like how the spacing is a little off, you know, like it's really kind of DIY. It looks good. And then this is your poster mock-up. I'm telling everybody this, for when you add this to your professional portfolio, I do recommend cropping in on this mock-up. You don't need all this extra image here because we want to really showcase the photo of the mock-up is large. I'm sorry, the poster itself as large as possible so we can see all the details nice and easily, okay? Here is the handbill design. So I'm not crazy about the text being cut off here, but I do like the layout. This is just a little, yeah, we need a margin, okay, on the side there, okay? And then the back looks good. This is cool. This part is a little odd. It doesn't feel like the rest of your branding. So I would almost rather you tilted this like you did on the poster as opposed to rotating it. This is looking more like the ticket, like information that would be on the ticket. Uh, so maybe you could figure out a different solution there for that, okay? But I like this. This is cool. For the November 23rd through January 1st, change this hyphen to an N dash. To create an N dash, you hold down the Alt or Option key and then hit that hyphen or minus button on your keyboard, okay? That's what we use to separate amounts or a range of things. That's the correct punctuation for that. All right, so for the 4-up, I would like to see it with the crops and bleed marks to show that it's on the correct dimension paper and that you can export that correctly, okay? And now here's your ticket. Wow, that looks real, really nice. This digital, font is like just so concert ticket. And then this down here looks really good. These different colored backgrounds looks great. Very legitimate. I love seeing the logo on there. It looks fantastic. Good work. Great. Here's your VIP pass. That looks cool too. I love it. Filthy records. Awesome. I love seeing the car on here. Maybe you could put the car here instead or something. and just get rid of winter 1979. You could add 1979 to this line down here if you wanted to keep that info on there. So, all right, so I do need to see the poster with the crops and bleeds. We need a, sorry, I'm just looking. We need a mock-up of the handbill as well. Okay, thank you. Next up is Albert. This is Albert's poster with the crops and bleeds. It's not correctly they're exported. This is like just pasted on an image of some crops and bleeds or something. So can you please export it correctly for me? And then here's the trimmed version. Looks good. Great design. This is a really powerful image. Woo, it looks awesome. I like the addition of the record down there. It could be bigger. It doesn't need to be so tiny. That's going to still be tiny even on a large poster. So, you know, this looks cool. I would increase the line spacing just a tad, but then decrease the line spacing here so that it looks more like the other designs that you made, like this. Um, with this font, this size, with that tight line spacing, it does make it a little hard to read. Whereas this font is bigger, and so you can lose a bit of line spacing like you did up here, okay? For this date range right here, change that hyphen to an N dash. To make an N dash, hold down the Alt or Option key and then hit the hyphen or minus button on the keyboard, okay? And then make sure there's no space between your dollar sign and the one. If there is a space, you know, great, looks good. All the other info is good, looks great. Oh, hold on. Okay, that's right. We don't need PT on here. You can delete that PT, okay? All right, cool. And then here's your mockup, looks good. I did want the mockup in the other PDF, just a heads up, okay? Excellent. So now this is your quarter bill. Okay, so the quarter bill generally has two sides to it, and we wouldn't ram the images up next to each other because if we were to slice this, there's a chance that we'd get part of this image on this one, you know, that kind of thing. Same with along the top there. So it is a good idea to have a border between the two, even if it's a black border all the way around. That's an option. And then I wanted you to export this as a PDF with the bleeds and crops as well. The mock-up should only show one of the trimmed quarters of the bill. It'd be really great if you can find a mock-up with a hand holding it to show the actual scale of the trimmed quarter page, okay? This, I don't know what that is. I think that's showing the one side. Okay, that's what it is, showing the single quarter bill. So this text down here is going to be nearly illegible. It's way too tiny for that scale, okay? So you could actually just get rid of this part or put it on the back of the quarter bill. Here's your ticket. I love it. Looks great. If you wanted to, you could add a barcode on this side if you needed to fill in any space, but not mandatory. This looks really nice. Good looking mock-up for that. Fun VIP pass mock-up. Looks good. Hold on, let me go back to the design. All right. So if you wanted to, you could, you know, move this over to the left a bit or reduce the size so that it's not getting cut off by the holder and cut off down here at the bottom. But totally up to you. It's not, you know, it doesn't look terrible or anything like that. Okay, so great. I love this fiery building design image that you chose for everything, and we've got all the info we need. Thank you. And next up is Anne. Let me just try to find. So I needed one. Okay, let me just look here real fast. Sorry. Deep, deep. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I needed one PDF that only had the two posters, meaning the poster exported with the crop marks and bleeds, and then the same poster exported trimmed. Here's your poster design. Great. It's great to see some photos on here. Excellent. And we got the peaches in the background. This is great. I'm just reading it. Great. Okay. So I don't know what 10th is. So it says 10th hip hop, but it reads as hip 10th hop. So I don't know if it's like an awards ceremony. I'm not sure what, I feel like there's a word missing here. Okay. This is cool. Um, Excellent. So I do not recommend using this deco font here. It just doesn't go with the rest of the design. If you wanted to use the same design, same font as you used in your logo or as you used up here, I think that would be more helpful. But I think actually what I recommend doing is whatever logo you use. I'm sorry, let me say that again. Whatever font you use for this up here, using that here for the title of A Night of Golden Era Hip Hop, and then changing your date to match this down here. And then for 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., you want to change this hyphen to be an N dash, which is to create that, you hold down the Alt or Option key on your keyboard and then hit the minus or hyphen key at the same time. That's how we separate a range in formatting. And you could have that that time be on the same line as your date, so that it doesn't, need so much height there. And then it says ID, just add a D to the end of the word required here. It is to be ID required, okay? Great, but I love all these visuals here. I love this collaging. It looks really nice, and the color palette's cool too. Excellent. Okay, good. Good mock-up there. That works. And then this is the handbill. All right. So your design all of a sudden is really shifting to Art Deco. We need to stay in the 80s hip hop genre, and it needs to stay with your branding that you created a little bit more. We're starting to use lots of different fonts. This is like a Western font. Um, I don't know. It's kind of shifting, and we need to pull it back in to stay consistent with the rest of the branding, so that you can demonstrate in your portfolio that you know how to keep branding consistent to create brand recognition. Okay, brand recognition is only achieved when we constantly use the same branding on all the different marketing. All right. Okay, so if you could make this look a little more like the poster that you created, then that would be great. And we could also use a front and a back side design. So on the front, you could have the images, the photos that you made on the poster to showcase the band. And then on the back, just organize the information the same way you did on the poster, just to keep it consistent across the board, okay? Great. I would also reduce it down to 2 fonts, the same fonts that you used on the poster. So this needs to be laid out in a 4-up format. So if you could revisit that module to show you how to do that, that would be great. And then export it export it with the bleeds and trim lines, registration marks, all those things. The mock-up, if you could find a mock-up for an actual handbill, that is maybe a hand holding a handbill to show the scale of it, that it's about 2 by 3 inches, that would be really great. Yeah, same here. This is okay. So this is more, I guess this is more of the trimmed one, but it would be really cool if you could, hold on, I got to go back here. We only need the one version, but it can have a front and a back, okay? And then here is your ticket. Okay, no, this is, hold on. Okay, okay, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So this is the VIP pass. So the VIP pass isn't going to look like a ticket. It's going to look more like a sticker that you can stick on your shirt or hang, or like a little rectangle that you put in a lanyard, that kind of thing. Um, so you can keep a lot of this design. It just needs to be on the correct dimensions and with more of a VIP pass mock-up, okay? The ticket, though, looks really cool. So once again, we are kind of tripling this line of a night of golden era hip hop, but you didn't do that in the poster, and you don't need to do it. So however you treat the information on the poster, repeat it in the ticket, repeat it in the VIP pass, repeat it in the quarter bill. All right. But this does look really nice. I love the color that you use throughout this ticket. The shape of the ticket is really neat. I love this perforated line. I like this barcode. All this row information looks cool. I like this number here matching on both sides. This looks really good. I like seeing Momo's logo um, and all of this information here. So really good. But Momo wouldn't present this concert. It would be their record label presenting it usually. So you could change that if you wanted to, or you could just eliminate that line. And then this does work for me for the mock-up for the ticket, okay? All right, let's see what we got on the other one. So here are the ones exported with the bleeds. Okay, great. So it's not quite right. We have our crop marks, but it hasn't been, they have no bleeds extending past the crop marks. And we don't have our registration marks and our color bars, our file info, that's all missing. So just make sure that you export it the correct way there. This needs to be a 4-up, and it's not. This is a single design on one page. So if you, like I said, if you could revisit that. The 4-up is the same. So the quarter would be one of the 4-up designs. So please revisit that module there. And then when you update your VIP pass and the concert ticket, you would re-export it the correct way, showing the bleeds, registration bars, all those things as well. Okay. All right. Thanks so much, everybody.